Hello everyone. So in this video I am going to walk through about the PPT of the project implementation of single sign-on using SAML. So what are we going to see in this video is these things. So let us solve the problem clearly, followed by existing system and their disadvantages, and proposed system and their advantages, followed by the three diagrams: the use case diagram, data flow diagram, and architecture diagram, and the module wise breakdown about the entire project. Okay, so to state the problem carefully, you need to remember these things. So the three problem statements. So first one is we need to, whenever you have an account in multiple applications, say gmail.com, facebook.com, and twitter.com and all. So maintaining different set of credentials for different application is too irritating. Meaning you are maintaining a different password for Gmail, different password for Facebook, and different password for Twitter. So it's like too irritating. Like you need to remember all the time, and also you need to request for the password reset if you have forgotten it. So it is like very irritating one, right? So that's the first problem statement. And the second problem statement is every time that you log into Gmail, you need to enter your ID password. In the next tab, if you open Facebook, once again you need to open enter ID password. And if you open the twitter.com, another tab, once again you need to enter the ID password. So every time you need to log into the application, you need to specify the different ID password altogether. Okay, so it's like you need to give more user interaction. Okay, so that is about the second problem. So if you say that Gmail and YouTube and Yahoo and Flickr and all those things have been implemented SSO. So what I can say is those solutions cannot be reused at the enterprise level. Meaning if you are developing a website, say vtu.csc.com, vtu.isc.com. So there are two different websites, one specifically for CSC and one specifically for ISC. So if you want to allow the users who have logged into csc.com to log into isc.com also automatically, so you cannot go ahead and ask Google to give the solution. You cannot go and ask Yahoo to give the solution. So basically what I meant to say is they cannot be reused at the enterprise level. So if they have already solved the problem, it is for themselves. Nobody can ever reuse it. So you need to come up with your own solution. So that's the problem statement. Okay, so the existing system happens to be we are maintaining a different authentication implementation for different applications, like different authentication module for Gmail, different authentication module for Facebook, different authentication module for Twitter. So in our example, a different authentication module for vtu.ac.in and different authentication module for vtu.csc.com and different authentication module for vtu.isc.com. Okay, so organization specific SSO implementation. So this problem says that Gmail would have been implemented it separately with Facebook. Facebook would have been implemented separately than that of Twitter. Okay, like that. Or I can say that organization specific SSO implementation is what you call the SSO implementation in between Gmail and YouTube. So that is for themselves. Okay, so you cannot reuse them at the enterprise level, right? So the third existing system speaks about the technology. So if you can clearly see here, these two things spoke about the system, whereas these things speaks about the technology. So how would Gmail and YouTube would have been used the technology to implement SSO? Either it is using Kerberos or OAuth or AWS Federation. So we have this technology for implementing SSO in the current era. Okay, so that's the existing system. So the drawback of this existing system I would like to mention separately. So these are the drawbacks of the system and these are the drawbacks of the technology. So with respect to the system, you can see that it is less customer satisfaction, because every time they need to remember the password for each application, which is very less satisfied customers you will end up getting it. Okay, and security implementation complexities, because if you secured authentication in vtu.isc.com, you are not guaranteed vtu.csc.com is also secured. So multiple security implementations has to be implemented in each of the sites. So help desk cost. So there could be lot of tickets being raised for the help desk for resetting the password, for forgotten password, like that, because more the number of people maintaining different password for different applications, so the more the number of people forgetting it. So help desk cost will be very high. So it is very less productivity, meaning because you need to pay for the help desk and you need to maintain the forgot password memory, all those things and all, it is less productivity. So, and very bad user experience, because even if you have already logged into Facebook, it is still asking you to log into Gmail. So even if you have already logged into vtu.ac.in, it is still asking you to log into vtu.csc.com. Even if you have already logged into vtu.csc.com, it is still asking you to log into vtu.isc.com. So it's a very bad user experience. So these are the drawbacks about the system. So speaking with respect to the technology, what I can say is, Kerberos is the technology that I spoken about it earlier. So it is implemented using the LAN. So you can provide SSO only inside a LAN, not over the internet, using Kerberos. So there is something called OAuth. So it provides only the concept of authorization, but it doesn't provide authentication. So the difference between authentication and authorization is what, authentication identifies the user whether he is allowed inside the application or not. Authorization, identifies what role an user is having within the application. Okay, like that's pretty much enough about authentication and authorization. So but OAuth will provide only the authorization scheme, it will not come with authentication scheme. So the third technology what we have is WS Fed. So the WS Federation having dependency on these many other components, so which is very, very complex. Like if one of them got failed, the entire WS Federation will be failing. If one of them is being made as paid service, so the entire WS Federation also should be made as paid service. So these are the drawbacks of the existing solutions. So for overcoming these drawbacks, what are we proposing is, we are proposing a protocol called SAML, Security Assertion Markup Language. So we are actually implementing this protocol and we are enabling the single sign-on at the enterprise level. Okay. So the meaning of enterprise level is the solution what we are going to propose right now can be readily used by any of the applications. Like, so you can even your college website can be integrated with any other college website, like that. So without any much coding effort, those people can readily use our project to integrate any two websites into one single sign-on. Okay, so the advantage of our project happens to be improved customer satisfaction, because only one password they need to remember. If they have logged into gmail.com, no need to log into facebook.com, no need to log into twitter.com. You will be automatically being logged into Facebook and twitter.com. So security implementation is centralized, because if you are providing the security, only one authentication is taking place, right? So only one security you need to give for only one system. Okay, and it reduces the help desk cost. Of course there will be less number of tickets for forgot password, because there is only one authentication implementation has been done. So larger productivity, because very less help desk cost. So it will be a great user experience, because if you have logged in once to one page, so you will be automatically logged into another page. So if you have logged into vtu.isc.com, you would have automatically logged into vtu.csc.com. Okay. So these are the advantages of the system. So the advantage of the technology is what, SAML is implemented for internet. Okay, not only for LAN, even for internet you can use. And SAML provides both authentication and authorization. It's not only authorization or authentication, it actually provides both. So SAML doesn't have any dependencies, so it's independent of the other component, so it is always free. So it supports the certificates in various formats, like certificate can be in .cer format, .jks format, .der format, and .kgs format. It could be any format, so everything will be supported in SAML. Okay, whereas OAuth or WS Federation might be having a specific certificate format. So these are the advantages of the proposed system. So this diagram will be helping you to understand what actually SSO is. So before SSO, if you can see, this person is issuing a different login to this website. So different login to this website and a different login to this website. But after SSO, you people can see this user is using only one ID, one login. So after one login, he have logged into all the three websites. Okay, earlier none of them will be secured, so here everything will be secured. Okay, so now let us see the use case diagram, the data flow diagram, and the architecture diagram for our project. So the use case diagram of our project looks like this. So if you can see, there will be only one user for our project, and we are going to develop two applications, sample applications. So we call one as the employee entertainment center, and another one we call it as employee discussion board. So using the employee entertainment center, the employees of an organization can upload videos, audios, and images to the site, and they can share it with anyone else. Using the discussion board, the employees can actually discuss about a specific topic or comment for the topic, like that. So the user of our application, he can either generate the metadata for that application, or he can create a certificate for that application, or he can configure the SAML for that application, or he can define the HTTPS of that application. So these four things basically are the SAML components, so which he can do, and he can readily reuse the same thing for other websites also. Okay, so these four components which he is going to do here. So if he remembers these things, so if he does the same thing for any other application, he can readily integrate SSO with that application. Okay, so apart from that, in entertainment center, the user will be able to upload the audio, image, video. Also he would be able to play the audio, video, and view the image. All those things he will be able to do. So with respect to discussion board, the employee will be able to read the post, all the ongoing post, and he can add a new post, new topic if you want, or he can participate in an existing post by either commenting it or liking it or anything what he likes to do. Okay, so that's about the use case diagram. Now let us see the architecture diagram, data flow diagram. So if you can clearly see, so this is the this happens to be the employee entertainment center, and this happens to be the discussion portal. So the entertainment center will be containing the front end layer, and also the discussion portal will be containing the front end layer. So and what you see here will be the back end layer, the servlet layer. So in the front end layer of entertainment, employee entertainment center, you can see he will be able to, sorry, I just told it ulta. So this is the employee entertainment center, and this will be the discussion portal. Okay, so inside the entertainment center, user will be able to upload the audio or view the audio, upload the video or view the video, or upload the image or see the image. Okay, so you will be having a servlet for each one of them to process it and store it in the DAO layer with the help of any other Java file. Okay, so even in the discussion portal, the same thing. So you will be having, you can either view all the existing post, or you can add a new post, or you can participate in the existing post. Okay, for accessing, for implementing each and every request, we have written a servlet in the backend. So what will be these services are nothing but servlets. Okay, so they will be fetching the data from the database, and they will be processing it and giving it back to the end user. So if you can clearly see in both the products, so there will be some initial configuration by the admin. So what type of configuration he will be doing, so these things which I shared it in the use case diagram, these 4 things. Okay, so if he does those for configuration, so it's like the product has been integrated with SSO. Okay, so and one more component what you need to remember here is the identity provider. So the meaning of identity provider is what, the authentication mechanism will be implemented in one place, and that is called identity provider. He will be maintaining the username, password for the user. So the user will be logging into this identity provider once. So without logging in, you can access the discussion portal also, you can access the entertainment portal also. So if you have logged into this identity provider, so you will be auto log into discussion portal, and also you will be auto log into entertainment center. So what we are going to do is we are going to use open SSO. So there is an open SSO. So it is an freely available identity provider. So we can go ahead and use open SSO. So that's about the data flow diagram. So if you look at the project architecture diagram, our entire project will be implemented in 3 layers. So because it is a dynamic web project, so in the first layer we will be having a database layer, and we will be using MySQL for storing the data. In second layer we will be having a business logic layer. We will be using JBoss server to run our project. So in the third layer we will be having a client layer. We can use any of the available browser to in it. Okay. So in the database layer we will be storing only 2 tables, one for discussion board data and one for entertainment center board data. Okay. And in the business logic we will be writing lot of Java code. So this Java code might contain might be a servlet, or it might be an helper class, utils, the DAOs, the interfaces, or any other core components. So in the client layer we will be using boot metro, jQuery, UI kit, Ajax. So basically we will be programming in the web, so for designing the front end screen here in the client layer. So that's about the project use case, architecture diagram. Now let us go ahead and divide the entire project into smaller modules. So you can see the entire project can be divided into 8 small modules. So let us start understand one by one. In module number 1 we are going to design the database. Designing the database is nothing but coming up with how many tables we required in this project, and each table should contain which columns and what is the data type of each column. All those decisions and all will be made under database design. So and also we are going to develop the DAO layer. So the meaning of DAO layer is what, data access object, DAO, data access object layer. So ideally DAO layer is just a service layer which provides the database services to the outside world. So if anybody wants to read the data from the database, rather than doing it directly, he asks the DAO layer to do it. So if the client wants to read the data from the database, so he asks the DAO layer to read it on behalf of him. Okay, so all the possible access with respect to the database will be done in the DAO layer. So module 2 is all about developing the employee discussion board. Module 3 is developing the employee entertainment center. So these 2 things are the dynamic web projects, so which are developed, and each one will be implementing with their own features. Like discussion board will be containing the post, add a new post, participate in a post, and employee entertainment center will be containing uploading the image, playing the image, like that. So in module 4 we are going to implement the secured socket layer, because our project should run on HTTPS. For HTTPS we need a secured socket layer, SSL. So because our SSO cannot be implemented for HTTP, the minimum requirement for SSO is we need to run on HTTPS, the secured version of HTTP protocol. So in this module we are going to implement that secured socket layer. So in module number 5 we are going to generate the metadata of the service provider. So discussion board is one of the service provider, employee entertainment center is another service provider. So we are going to generate the metadata for both the service provider. Okay, so that metadata we are going to exchange it with respect to our IDP. So we are using OpenSSO as our identity provider. So the metadata what we generated in the previous module, we are going to share them with OpenSSO, and we are going to upload our metadata with identity provider. So we call it as IDP configuration. So in module 7 we are going to develop, after configuring the IDP with them, so they will be giving us one certificate. OpenSSO will give us one certificate. So that certificate will be used for generating SAML key store. So the SAML key store is required to establish a trust between service provider and the identity provider. Okay. So SAML key store will be securing the data stored, data passed within the application to application. So in module 8 we are going to move our entire project into JBoss. Okay. So these are the 8 modules we can have in our project. So hope the explanation was clear. Thank you so much.